NFL draft is right around the corner, and in this video I'm going to talk about one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football in Justin Fields.
This part of that interior line, Fields from the pocket, launches downfield, and a diving catch is made.
Justin grew up in Kennesaw, Georgia, and from the get-go he just seemed to be destined for football. Due to his immense talent, Justin dominated high school football as a dual-threat quarterback, and in his 2 seasons as a starter, he not only passed for 4,000 yards and 41 touchdowns, but he also rushed for nearly 2,100 yards and 28 rushing touchdowns. The insane talent earned him a spot at the Elite 11 camp before his senior year, where he ended up being named MVP and became one of the top recruits in the nation. Oh, and by the way, Trevor Lawrence was also at that Elite 11 camp, so yeah. The hype was insane after he won the MVP, and one of his senior games was televised on ESPN. Coincidentally, the game where he broke his finger, and where he ended up playing his last game of high school football. But anyway, it didn't matter as the hype train had already left the station, and Justin was a 5-star. And not only was Justin just a 5-star, but he was the highest rated dual threat quarterback in his class, and ESPN even rated him as the highest recruit overall. Not only was Justin just ESPN popular, but he was one of the players featured on the Netflix series QB1.
Our recruit, he's the nation's #1 quarterback. He's got a lot of expectations to live up to.
As one of the most popular and highest recruits in the nation, Justin had a lot of choices, but the main 3 were Alabama, LSU, and the school he ended up choosing in Georgia. As a true freshman in 2018, Justin was backup to another former QB1 star in Jake from State Farm. Jake Fromm was in his sophomore season, and due to solid play, he remained the starter for the rest of the year. Although Justin was the backup to Jake, he was able to play in 12 games and passed for just over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. As you could probably guess, Justin was not a huge fan of the whole backup thing, and as one of the best quarterbacks in college football, Justin decided to find a starting spot elsewhere. Justin would normally be required to sit out a year due to eligibility requirements for transfers, but attorney Thomas Mars helped Justin with the whole ordeal, and as a result, he was able to start immediately for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I talked about the whole thing in more of my Story Of video. But anyway, Justin became a Buckeye and was now able to start on one of the best teams in all of college football. In his first season with the team, Justin, along with the new head coach Ryan Day, were able to lead the team to a 13-0 record after they defeated Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship 34-21 to advance to the college football playoff semifinal against the defending champs in the Clemson Tigers. Although the Buckeyes were seemingly in control of the game, after a worrisome sack to Trevor Lawrence, the Tigers rallied back and won 29-23 to kick the Buckeyes out of the championship. Going into the 2020 season, Justin was looking to elevate his game to the next level and potentially have a Heisman level year. As you know, 2020 was a weird season for college football, and especially in the Big Ten, as the Buckeyes ended up only playing 6 games. But after defeating Northwestern in the championship 22-10, Ohio State was right back where they were last season. In the college football semifinals, the Buckeyes were once again matched up against the Clemson Tigers, but this time things were very different, and Ohio State won very handedly, 49-28, to advance to the championship. Although Ohio State had played well against Clemson, they stood no chance against the Crimson Tide, and from the beginning it was a losing effort, as Alabama won 52-24, and yet again the Buckeyes fell short. Following his junior season, Justin felt like he did everything he could in college football, and as a result, he declared for the NFL draft. At 6'3", 228, and as one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in college football, Justin is one of the highest recruits, and as a result, has potential to be a top 3 pick in the draft. More and more, it seems like the NFL has become full of high-powered offenses that need a quarterback who can run and pass. So it looks like Justin will fit right in as one of the most talented stars in recent years. The NFL has become more and more a league full of dual-threat talent, but Justin is more of a rocket passer that can also run like Mahomes or Josh Allen. I wouldn't really say he focuses as much on the run as players like Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, but an interesting comparison is a little old quarterback in Seattle named Russell Wilson. There might be a glaring difference between the two in the fact that Justin is 4 inches taller than Russell, but although he's a little bit taller and has a little bit of weight on Wilson, the two share an eerily similar playstyle. Both Justin and Russell can weave their way through the pocket and have absolute cannons that make them extremely tough to go up against. The timing of this is insane with the speculation that Russell might take a trip out of Seattle But all of this is far from the point, and the two just seem way too similar to ignore. And I can't wait to see how well Justin does in the league, and if he can develop his talent to the level of the Super Bowl champ and Russell Wilson. I think Justin is one of the most talented quarterbacks in one of the most bloated quarterback drafts of all time. Earlier in the season, I was extremely skeptical as to whether or not Justin was the real deal, and he sure did prove me wrong against Clemson. And although Ohio State got demolished by Alabama, Justin put up a heck of an effort. I've been super positive about Justin, but there are still some doubts, and his play against teams like Northwestern and Indiana were not up to par with how he performed to finish off the year. So I guess we'll just have to see what Justin we're going to get. But I highly doubt he will underperform nearly as much as he did against those teams. All of this in mind, I see Justin as one of the top players in the draft, and as a result, I have him ranked as one of the highest quarterbacks in the draft as a straight up A. My prediction may be a little high, or I don't know how it would be low, but anyways, I'm really curious how you guys would rate him. And it'd be awesome if you leave your ratings in the comments down below. But nonetheless, Justin is just an all-around beast. We talked about how good Justin is and his style of play, but now we are faced with one of the toughest guesses, as he could go practically anywhere. But no more talk.
Enough talk.
Justin is one of the most talented players in the draft, and as a result, I see him going second overall to the New York Jets. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't Sam Darnold one of the best quarterbacks in the league?
Really?
No.
And although he has done some good things, I don't think the Jets and the new head coach in Robert Saleh see him as the future for the organization. On the other side, Justin has the potential to elevate the Jets to a whole new level. And with some of their other pieces, New York could make their way back into the spotlight. Justin Fields is one of the best talents in the draft, so it'll be exciting to see what's next for the beast from Georgia.
Russ Fields has time, launches downfield, it's Olave, he's got a touchdown, Ohio State!
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, subscribe and like, and comment down below where do you think Justin is heading off to. But anyways, see you guys soon, and peace out.